Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords. Tonight we have been playing this, Disciple Detectives. Did we like it? Stay tuned and find out. So, Disciple Detectives is a simple deduction game, really. You each have a hand of 3 or 4, depending on your number of players. The game comes with 14 disciples. You can either add in Paul to be the 14th or remove him and play with 13. You shuffle those, you give them out, and you don't know which disciples you've got. And basically you take it, you can play this as a co-op game or a competitive game, and we played the co-op. And what you have to do is there are various things written on the back of your cards. Each one of them has got certain traits. They might have a known father, they might have written one of the Gospels or some of the books in the Bible, that type of thing. We might know their origin story or what their jobs were. And basically you will say, I'm going to talk about those that have got fathers, and you go round and touch the cards where they've got those traits on. Dead simple, you'd think, and you have to try and work out which ones you've got in your hand.
Great little game. Look at the artwork on these cards. Never realised that the disciples were so white. Love the kind of manga styly artwork, and as you can see, everybody will hold up 3 cards like so, not seeing who they are. But as you can see on those cards, let me just layer them up properly, there are certain traits, or there are certain things on the different cards. And so a person will then point to, right, they'll be like, okay, so we know the father of, and then they'll point to the one that will have, here we go, all of them there. Actually, we have the little daddy symbol. So all of them would be pointed to, and everybody has a whiteboard pen, which then they can write on the back of these cards. And they also have one of these cards as well, which you can write upon. So as you start to work out you can mark off all the other 3 that you can see around the table, because you know that your 3 are not there. And then as you start to get clues and stuff like that, you can scribble out and mark off. You also have another board as well. So you have this thing here, which is a little bit more detailed, showing you who has what and who hasn't got stuff. And then there are traits in there which will change the game up even more, making it even more confusing. So when you think you have somebody sorted out, actually they might not be, because their traits are throwing you a curveball. So, nice little game. We played through it. If there was going to be a winner, it would probably have been me, because I just worked out all my peeps. But that's probably because there was some really good clues given to me, and I was too busy working out my people to even give any decent clues back. So nice little game. Not sure how often the replayability on it. I think when you get to grips with all the different characters more, I think you will work out maybe what questions to definitely ask and go through. But having said that, a good little game, and really one that I think will work really well in family situations. I think it's a great one for maybe a gateway and for children to play as well. Although there's some tactics in there and working things out. I think it's a good entry level game, and one that can be enjoyed, at least a few times. Enjoyed over and over again. So good little stuff there. Good times.
Hi, David Gray, and this is a nice little puzzler. I actually quite enjoyed it, which I wasn't sure that I would to start with, truth be told, but it's cooperative, so everybody's giving clues to everybody else, which is nice, although there is another version you can play where you pick the clues that you get, and it is more everybody for himself. One of the cool things, rather than just picking the traits and going, right, is he this or isn't he this, is there are a few cards thrown in there to really stump you. So, for instance, probably the two biggest ones are Thomas, who basically, anytime anybody asks for a clue, you always go with Thomas's card. So if you're not paying attention, it looks like he has every single trait known to man. He doesn't, but it's just there to throw you off. And, of course, old Judas there, who always does the opposite of what he should do. So again, if you're not paying attention, you're going to be thinking is one thing, whereas actually is the other. So you do need to be on the ball, which is gives it a little bit of a twist. If anything, it probably gets easier as the game progresses. So for the first 3 cards you all have, there's a lot more options. Whereas actually, as you go through it and you start guessing the characters, the list of who you can have in your hand goes down. So as a sort of gateway game, or a game for kids, it's probably an opportunity for the rest of the group to help out and support the other person, because nobody's getting left behind not knowing what to do. As you go along, somebody can be quite good at it, but the other person's always going to be in the game and involved. So nice little game, bit of a puzzler, and probably a nice easy one for everybody to get involved in. So good fun.
I don't do that though. Why are you doing that? No.
He taps the box, doesn't he? He taps the box.
He does. And what you do is you have 15 pieces and 5...
Hi, Hipster King here from the Hairy Game Lords.
Oh, we found his weakness. I feel